In this video, we are going to focus on the VulnCMS 1 mission. And this is not just a walkthrough, but this includes how real pen test a mission. This doesn't include directly solving the box. So make sure to watch this video till the end to know how a real pen test a mission, what are the struggles that they face, and a lot more other things. So let's begin. First step is about reconnaissance, which is about gathering information about our target. In this case, we are gathering the IP address related information. I'm going to perform an ARP scan on the target, like on a mission. During the scan, I was able to find an IP address in which the MAC address starting with 08, which is our target IP in the virtual box. So after that, I'm just going to perform the scanning. A service version and script scanning is what I'm going to perform. In Nmap is a network mapper tool. You can also use the alternative tool of Nmap called the Nmap if you would like to use. But in this case, I've been using the CLI tool, Nmap, and service version scanning, which will give you the version related information on our target, and the script scanning, which will give you some more details, like if it supports FTP, if it has FTP, if it allows anonymous login, and a lot of other details will be enumerated using the script scanning. And here it's complete, and now the port 22 is open SSH. As we don't know the username or password, I could not do anything with that. And there is port 80 HTTP is open, which our Nginx web server is running on 1.14.0 version of Nginx is what is running on. And there is an HTTP title, which is w3.css template is what's running on there. So once I browse that, here you can see welcome to the blog of unknown and some of the details. So this is what is available. When I click next, it's basically powered by w3.css. So w3css, let's search for that, and here it is basically the w3 schools, I think. So and by viewing the paid source, so I could not find anything suspicious here. So let me check some other ports. We have other ports open. Here you can see the port 5000, which has WordPress 5.7.2 running on. So you can access the port 5000. Okay, here is the port 5000, F-Society, just another WordPress site. And if you find a WordPress tool or WordPress running website, you have to remember a tool called the WP scan, which is the WordPress scanning tool. You can just view the manual. I think there may be manual. Here it is. So this is basically the WordPress security scanner. So as an ethical hacker pen test, you have to know the WordPress security scanner. You have to be familiar with this tool because this is important. So yeah, let's try to use this tool. Like you can just use this tool by entering wp scan --url for the URL and --enumerate for enumerating. So and I'm all going to enumerate all the plugins or the AP will enumerate all plugins. So here I am able to see, it seems like you have not updated the database. If you want to update, you can issue the command wp scan --update. So once you issue this command, you will be able to see it is updating the database, and the update was completed. Now we can run the previous scan, and the scan was started. It was able to enumerate a lot of information. Here there was no plugins found, and the detection mode is passive, and there was not other informations found. So let me first I'm going to view the help menu so that you will have better understanding. So from the help menu, you have the plugins detection mode, and you have mixed, passive, aggressive. These are the modes available. So let's use the aggressive mode. Okay, just run that. So let me check everything is working good. Okay, that's cool. Okay, now this was started. It is enumerating the vulnerable plugins via aggressive method. So yeah, it is taking time to enumerate. Other than that, we also have some information about the headers, XML RPC enabled, which is again aggressive detection, and there's a lot of things is detecting in aggressively. So here it's taking time because it's detecting aggressively, and the WordPress version was found as the 5.7.2. So let's search for if it finds any exploits. So it has some vulnerabilities in this. When I open the WP scan, so you can see the 5.7.2. So let's search for that. It's kind of authenticated XSS related vulnerabilities. So exact 5.7.2, let's see. 5.7 is available in the expert database. This is an XXC authenticator vulnerability. Other than that, it's still enumerating the plugins. Let it run. In the meantime, we have a plenty of playlists that helps you to learn a lot. So I've been creating a lot of videos for you guys for improving your knowledge, a lot of walkthroughs for improving your knowledge of how you can solve things, and a lot of other tutorials for helping you learn about those tools. We have a dedicated playlist available. In that particular playlist, you will have the learn ethical hacking from zero to hero. If you are a beginner, this playlist is completely dedicated for you. You can just learn a lot from this playlist for free, and we have more than 400 plus views in this particular playlist, and this playlist gets up to date. And as of now, we have 198 videos available in this playlist. So if you want ethical hacking course, then we do have courses available in the Udemy platform. So yeah, you can just go to the post. I think let's search for course in the post. So yeah, I will drop the link to our course in the description so that you can just click and go there. So you will be having the access to that particular course. Here we have the course. So here is our course. As of now, the giveaway was entered. You can see if you are interested, then you can just purchase this course. Or if you want to know more about this course, then you can just contact me on Instagram. So we have Instagram available here. So once you click the Instagram, you will be forwarded to our own official Instagram account. So you have to open this. You can just message us, and I'm happy to share you the code at the lowest price. So if you want this course, I will provide at the lowest price if you contacted me through Instagram. Okay. So other than that, it's still running, and 5,000 plus non-locations. So out of 7343, it's still about 5,000. It's been detected. So you can see we can do a lot of things in the WP scan by using -e or -- enumerate. You can just use the options for VP for the vulnerable plugins, AP for the all plugins, and a lot of other things. If you want a dedicated video about how you can use the WP scan, we have that video. If you think about a course, then you can just search. If you think about the tool, then you can just search that tool in our channel. You will be able to see the demonstration of that particular tool. So you can just watch that. We have more than 300 plus views as of now. You can just watch that. This is helping a lot of people to learn this WP scan tool. This is a really great tool that you have to definitely need to know. So other than that, if you're preparing for EJPT, we have the EJPT preparation playlist. You can just watch that out. If you're preparing for CEH, we also have the CEH playlist for that for you. So this is only for the practical guys, so that's something to keep in mind. So yeah, it's completed, and all the aggressive methods was completed, and we were not able to find any plugins. So the vulnerability in this case may not exist in the plugins, so it's searching for others. So it's been going to complete within seconds. Yeah, there is no themes found, and we could not find any plugins, and it's in aggressive mood. It will take time, and if it finds one, then you will get that information. It was not able to enumerate the database exploit, DB exports, and a lot of other things it was not able to do. Other than that, we also identified a username called the WordPress admin is a username that we were able to identify. So let's perform that attack using the WordPress. You can use the -u for the username, minus capital P for the password list. In this case, we'll be using the user share word list rocket.txt. So let's start this password attack using this tool. So this is how you can perform this attack. If it finds, then you will be able to get that. So it has a lot of word lists available in this rocket.txt. So let it run. Let's move on to the another port, which is 8081. From this you can see it's basically Joomla is running on, and these are some of the hidden directories that is available in the robots.txt. Some disallow entries, these are some of them. And it's basically the Joomla 8081. Let's try to access that. Okay, here it is. Everything is FSIT, and we have something to enter the username and password for. So as we don't know the username and password, we have a dedicated tool for the Joomla also. So you have to know that also, guys, because yeah, it's called the Joom scan. So Joom scan minus help will review the help menu of that tool. You can see we have a plenty of options for that tool. Let's run Joom scan URL and run the URL, and minus enumerate components, or minus easy will try to enumerate the components. You can just use that if you're interested. This is how you can just use the Joom scan, and it has a feature to detect the firewall, and there is no firewall detected, and it detected the Joomla version. Here is the version of the Joomla that it detected. Let's search for any exploits available for Joomla. You can search for the version space exploits or version space vulnerabilities. I prefer searching for exploits. Here we have something in the Rapid7, which is a Joomla account creation and privilege escalation vulnerability. I don't know if we can exploit it using this, or this is an auxiliary module. Maybe it will work or not. So we don't have any detailed information about this, but let's test this out using the MSF console. Other than that, we also have some core Joomla vulnerability, like core remote privilege escalation vulnerability, which will be available here in the exploit database, Joomla admin takeover, and some other vulnerability names which we will be able to enumerate using the Joom scan tool. Here this tool was launched, so let's try this. So I'm getting this error, so I think I have to reload all to solve this error. So this is the temporary solution that I found to this particular error. So if you are also facing this, if you don't know how to solve, then this is a kind of a temporary solution that I have found as of now. So it's reloading all the module paths. Once it's done, you can just use this, then it will work. So currently it's Metasploit version 6.4.126 dev. Okay, here it is. Now let's run this. Let's enter the options command. We have to set the R host. So here is our IP address. Setting the R host. And you can see the target port. So we have to change the target port, which in this case it's Joomla is running on 8081. So we have to set the R port to 8081. Other than that, the target URI / and the username, I don't know, it is exploiter. So it is using this exploiter as username and password. In this case, I don't think it's not the target seems safe, so we will not continue. So yeah, this may not be vulnerable, so we can't do anything on that. So here also WordPress, the admin password was not able to find. So let's see the other results of the Joomla. We have some directories to the administrator, like on Joomla administrator. So I think you can just eliminate the Joomla, and now we were able to go to the administrator's path. We can just view the robots.txt to get some information or some directories. Here it is. So these are some of the disallow directories that we have as of now. Other than that, we have the direct path to the administrator folder that we visited right now. And we also have incomplete fix remote code execution vulnerability. So this is what we are looking for. We have some remote code execution vulnerabilities is what they are talking about, which will be available in the Rapid7 website on this CVE. This is remote code execution vulnerability. This is incomplete fix remote code execution vulnerability. I think I can go to this. Let's check if we were able to do anything on it. So let's copy this. Let's try to use this. You also have to set the R host, right? So here it is. Now when I enter options, so this was set, we have to set the R port like we said before. Now when I enter options again, these all are set, I think. Now I'm just entering run. So it started writing the backdoor to this particular path, sleeping before requesting the payload, waiting for up to 300 seconds to trigger the payload. Let's see if it makes any progress. Let it run. Other than that, we are having the core remote privilege escalation, which is about privilege escalation is about after gaining access, you have to escalate your privilege. So other than that, I could not find anything that is useful as of now. So what I am going to do is to move on. We have port 9001 running, which is about Drupal 7 is running on port 9001. So let's try to access that. Okay, here is our fsociety.web Drupal running. So for the Drupal, we have various tools like Drupal scanning, like Drupal scanning tools. Let's search for the Drupal enumeration tools. We have a wide variety of tools for the Drupal, right? Like the Drupal. Like we have Drup scan, Drupal, CMS map, Drupal scan. So let's try to use one. Here we are going to use this one. This is about the Drupal. Let's try to install this. And we are moving to that particular directory. After that, we just need to install the requirements.txt. Then you have to install the setup. It's downloading. We get a lot of errors from the previous and this command. Let's see if it works or not. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. It's deprecated. Let's list that out. We have the Drupal. Like let's enter Python 3 /Drupal. Let's run using bash Drupal. It's command not found. Command not found. /Drupal. This is a error that we are getting. If you're getting error, don't worry. You have to. So you can just solve this error using AI tools, right? So how you can solve this error? Like you have to copy the error and paste it to the AI tools. And this is something that I'm going to give it to you. Like you can just open up any AI tools that you are currently using. After that, you have to paste the error and solve it by yourself. Try to do this by yourself and solve the error in this tool. Okay, so that's a task that I'm giving it to you guys. So other than that, we also have the CMS map tool. Let's see if it exists. No, so let's move to the Droop scan tool, which is again a scanning tool for Drupal, which is available here. Let's copy and clone the repo. So it already existed, so I already done that before, I think. So you have the Droop scan. Still we are getting the same error here also. Enter the Python 3 setup.py. Here it is. So we need some time to solve this error. We have to do some work to solve this error, so I don't want to waste that time as of now. So that's the reason I've been moving to various other tools. So if you have time, then you can just solve that by yourself, guys. So as of now I'm having limited time, so that's why I'm just moving between some other tools. Just installing the Drupal scan. Here it is. It's got installed. Let's see if it works. Successfully installed the Drupal scan. Nothing found. Here in the binary, Drupal scan is here. Let's see if we can do anything with this. Let's clone this. Let's move on to this tool. Let's move on to the binary. Here we have the Drupal scan. Here it is. It works, I think. So -u for the URL to the Drupal. So still getting an error. So as I have limited time as of now, I've been moving on with some Drupal vulnerabilities. So if you have time, I highly recommend you to solve these kinds of errors. Like I will show you a little bit of things that how you can just solve this error. Like for example, this is the error that you're getting. So you can just open up an AI tool, right? So in this case, let's go with the Claude or ChatGPT or whatever tool that you like to use. I think Claude needs login to use that. Let me check. Yeah, it needs you to login. Let's move to the ChatGPT. So I think you can just chat without login. Here it is. So you can just paste this out and tell AI that I am unable to run this tool. This. Okay. Oh, okay. I am unable to run this tool. This is the error I'm getting. How to solve? Like that, you can just chat with an AI tool. Make sure to log in with the AI tool. As of now, it just doesn't log into this ChatGPT itself, but you can just log in and after that try yourself. Okay, so here you can see -u for the URL. After that, you have to give some space and run that. So notice the space between the. So yeah, this is something that I put right now. So still it doesn't work. So you can also try running like this without the HTTP and it doesn't work. URL which includes HTTP itself and no module lookup, disable module lookup. So other than that, you also have some of the other things. So we also have the changelog.txt which will exist. So for the Drupal, let's open that in the other tab. And here in the changelog, we can see the version for this Drupal is 7.54. So in this case, what we can do is to find any vulnerabilities on this particular version, but I highly recommend you to use these kinds of tools. And if you find these kinds of errors, try to solve it using AI. So if you make an effort to solve these tools by yourself, then you might feel confident. If you are getting everything from a single video, then you might not feel some confidence, but you are at your end. Okay, if you want to feel confident, if you want to become a pen tester, you have to face errors, you have to solve errors. So that's the task that I'm giving it to you. I make you familiar with some of the tools of Drupal scanning. So now your task is to use these tools, face errors, solve errors. You have your artificial intelligence assistance is there. So I showed you how you can just solve these kinds of errors. If you can't solve the error on this tool, you can just try some other tools and try to solve at least one try to use at least one tool, try to solve the error in that particular tool. So that's the task that I'm giving to you, so you have to solve that. So in this case, I'm just directly moving to the Drupal. So let's search using the search point Drupal 7.54. Here in this case, we have a lot of vulnerabilities available for the Drupal 7.54, which has some Ruby scripts. I think it may include in the Metasploit. So we have Metasploit running somewhere here. So this still doesn't complete it. I'm just stopping that. So we have the Metasploit running. So let's search for the Drupal here. So here Drupal 7. Oh my god. So let's me search for Drupal 7. Here you have a lot of things from the Drupal 7. You have a lot of vulnerabilities. In this case, I've been using this one, which is more commonly vulnerable for Drupal. Let's use this, and let me in the options. Now we have to change the R host, which is our target host. So our target host and our target port is what we want to change. Here is our target host. So, and the port number is 9001, right? So let me confirm that. Yeah, that's confirmed. Now let's run. After changing those two, you can see the target is vulnerable. We get it. The target now, the Drupal is vulnerable to this exploit. And guys, we get the meterpreter session 1 opened on the target. That's crazy. So that's really cool. So the session 1 opened. Let's see if we can get a meterpreter session. So let's wait a little bit of seconds so that you will be able to get your hands. So here it is. When you're in the ls, you have a lot of folders. The current location that you are in the var www html Drupal. So there is nothing here. So what we need to know, what we need to become is to become root, right? So when you wonder who am I think that command doesn't work here. You can just use the system info. That also doesn't work. Oh yeah, sysinfo. Here it is. So here the computer is VulnCMS, and this is the OS, and this is the architecture, system language, the meterpreter, and some other information, right? What we need to do right now. So we are inside the Drupal. These are the files in the Drupal. So in this case, what I'm going to do is to use AI tool. Is there anything suspicious to investigate? If you don't know that, you can just enter that and ask AI, is there anything that you really need to investigate? So we have this site's default settings.php, which has the config file, which may contain something sensitive. So you may find some backup, old or zip or some other files, right? In the MISC, you can see one thing that does stand out is in the MISC. So while most files are 2017 to 1, but the MISC in this case has some date difference. So here you can see the date 2017, everything seems to be 2017 or 2016, 2016. So here this is something feels fishy based on the date, right? So let's move on to MISC. Let's see if there is anything that stands out. So by inspecting that, most of these seems to be JavaScript file. Oh, no. Yeah, it includes JavaScript and PHP files and some GIF and CSS files, and there is a UI, there is a pass. So this is something that I found. Let's use AI. Yes, here it is. One file stands out immediately. So that's crazy good. So let's get that out. Let's use the cat. Oh my god, we got a username and password of Tyrell. So let's save this in the mousepad. Okay, here it is. So other than that, we can just move to the home directory. As usual, we have the user Tyrell here, guys. So other than that, we have moved to the first user, Elliot, and here is our user.txt. Unfortunately, we won't be able to view the user.txt. We have to become Elliot or would become root to view that, right? Let's move back and let's investigate other directories. Like we have the ghost user. Inside the ghost, I could not find anything to investigate as of now. So moving back, Tyrell. Inside the Tyrell, nothing to investigate. So other than that, we can just move to the temporary directory, and in the temporary directory, let's execute some scripts like the lin piece or lin enum. So for that, I'm just becoming a shell, and I'm just spawning my TDY. So here we have the spawn TDY code. So here the first thing to do is to use this, which uses the Python to spawn a better featured bash shell. Now we get the better featured bash shell. So now let's use tools like a lin piece. Let's see if we can import the lin piece here. Here is the GitHub repo of lin piece. Here it is. So now let's copy this into our target. Here is our code for the lin piece binary. Let's do this. It's resolving github.com. Here it is. It seems to be working good. Okay, so now we are here. We have the file here. Now let's give permission for execute. Now let's run this. Doesn't work, I think. Let me use the bash. Cannot execute the binary file. I think I have to give all the permission. Now let me try to run. Oh, I could not be able to execute this file, guys. Maybe we have some alternatives for lin piece, which is the lin enum. Right. So we have the lin enum.sh here. We have the script here. What we can do is to, let's see if it supports nano. If it yes, so let's copy and paste it there. I'm just checking if it supports nano lin.sh. No. So what I can do is to download this into my machine. So after downloading, I can just transfer that, and here is our lin enum.sh available. So what I can do is to transfer. So I'm just exiting from the shell. Now I'm going to the meterpreter. Control C, not terminating. Here I'm in meterpreter. In the meterpreter, so my file is in Kali, right? So Kali at Kali. So I'm in the home Kali directory. So where I have the lin enum.sh, and this tab is also in the home Kali directory. Now what I can do is upload, and the file name, now I can upload that. If this file is in downloads, then you have to specify the path. After uploads, you have to give downloads and that particular path. Okay, otherwise it won't work. So that's something to keep in mind. If it is not in your current directory, you have to move to that particular directory, then the file name to upload that. Otherwise it will not work. Okay, now I'm just moving back to shell and using this code spawn an interactive shell. Now I have the lin enum.sh. Let me give the execute permission. So now let me try to run that. Here it worked, guys, so that's cool. So here is the script. The local Linux enumeration and privilege escalation script is running on. Here you have some kernel information, you have some specific release information about the version of the Ubuntu, and a lot of other information. We have the host name and the current user group info and some of the usernames, and we have the group memberships, and it looks like we have some admin users, and this is the contents of etc passwd. We have some users like Tyrell, and in Elliot it's basically r bash. So these are bin bash, but this is an r bash shell, so that's something to keep in mind. Super user account, and so accounts that have recently used sudo, so you have to look for the ghost or Tyrell user, I think. So our permissions on home directories of lags, these are the permissions, nothing seems suspicious. There will be environment variables and path information, and these are some of the available shells. We have bash, sh, rbash, dash, those are the shells available. So there will be rbash, so there will be etc cron tab for the job task, and some other information. There is no scheduled jobs, I think. So we have some networking information and ARP history, and the listening TCP running processes, and we have some binary permissions, and we have some config files, which we have some config file which is in the etc init. We have a php config file. So and a lot of other information, the Apache version, MySQL version, and some other information. Okay, let's move on to the etc init, and let's get this config file of PHP. Here you have some prescript making directory, running this PHP, giving www data as permission. We have rbash, right, which is available. Let's try with rbash and the link piece. I don't know if it works, but that's my try. It doesn't be able to execute. So other than that, the information that we have from the root directory, we have to visit a common opt directory, which is something that I usually visits in credentials, which it's usually in most CTFs. And here I have an 8081.crud. So here it is, guys. We were able to get the password and username of Joomla CMS admin. So we have the password of Tyrell, Joomla CMS admin. So I think we can just move to the Joomla's administrator. Here it is. Let's try to get into it. So guys, we were able to get into it. So we have the option to add new articles, and we have the option to update, menu, user management, and other options. From here, you have some information about Elliot. The email, this seems suspicious. Maybe this may be the password of Elliot. So we have some super user. This seems to be an email, but this doesn't seems to be an email. We have to become Elliot, right? So maybe I am suspecting that this may be the password of Elliot. So we have SSH also running, right? So from our nmap scan, we know that port 22 is running SSH. So let's try to access SSH. Username maybe Elliot at the IP address. So the target IP, which will be here. So we have to enter the password. Let's try this one. Yes, guys, it worked. So that's pretty cool. So now we have the user.txt. Okay, let's get that out. That's cool. We get the user.txt. Now our aim is to become root sudo -l, and here user Elliot may not run sudo on VulnCMS. So other than Elliot, we have the Tyrell, right? So let's switch to Tyrell and let's enter the password of this particular user. Here it is. Now let me end the comments like for listing the privileges. Let's move on because there is nothing in the Tyrell's directory, right? So here you can see we have something to investigate about the journCTL can become root. So let's move on to the website called GTFO bins for the Linux binaries for performing privilege escalations, for becoming bypassing the misconfigurations. Here in the journal CTL, we have unprivileged and sudo. We have sudo access. So if executed via sudo, we can just become root. So let's run this. This is sudo journal CTL. Here we have done the exclamation, bin bash. Boom, guys, it's root. So when you wonder who am I, now you are root. So now let's move on to the root directory, list the files. We have the root.txt. So that's pretty cool, right? So I hope this video is informative for you guys. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.